can think of no better way than this story right here. In this story, Jesus shows his own divinity breaking through as Jesus. And then the Father comes into the scene as a fully different person. The Father comes in and he says, "This is my Son." He identifies him as a separate person and he says, "This is my Son, Jesus, with whom I am well pleased." And so we see the Father and we see the Son, both divine. They share the divine essence, and yet they're two different people. That's the claim that Mark is making in this story. And so especially when the Christian movement is so young in 60 or 70 AD, Mark wants to be extremely careful to toe that line. He doesn't want to misrepresent Jesus as a god among other gods, but he also doesn't want to misrepresent Jesus to the Jews as saying, "Oh, Jesus claimed to be the Father. He claimed to be Yahweh without having any distinction of personhood." Instead, he toes that line perfectly by using an event. Because think, what people often forget is that the Bible and these stories about Jesus were written for the average person. They were not written as logical propositions for the scholar. And yet they have the richness and the depth that scholars mine for their entire lives and still don't exhaust all the resources and all of the knowledge that's contained in them. And so by using a story, by taking this truth that he has the same divine essence as the Father and yet he's different in person, and inputting it into a story that Jesus himself showed his core disciples, that is the best way to teach this doctrine of Jesus' unique divinity than any sort of logical proposition document could have done.